We come right back. Hillary Clinton says Donald Trump is stiffed. A bunch of business people and lawsuits prove it. Is it legal? Is investment much going on right now? Everybody waiting for President Clinton. We'll be out in maybe an hour and 30 minutes, hour and a half. In the Is It Legal segment tonight, however, charges that Donald Trump is lawsuit happy and is not done right by some working Americans.
He's been involved in more than 3,500 lawsuits in the last 30 years. And a large number were filed by ordinary Americans and small businesses that did work for Trump and never got paid. Not because he couldn't pay them, but because he could stiff them.
So we asked our Is It Legal team to investigate that allegation, and here they are. Lise Wheel in New York City and Kimberly Guilfoyle in Philadelphia. What did you find out, Will?
Let me break it down for you. He has been involved in 3,500 lawsuits over the last 30 years. He's been the plaintiff in 1,900 of those lawsuits. He's been the defendant in 1,450, bankruptcy suits or third-party suits in 150 of them. He's been victorious in 451. These are clear resolution suits. Because a lot of times, you know, they'll settle or you can't resolve them. He's been victorious in 451, and he's lost 38. So 451 to 38.
He's ahead.
By many, many, many.
All right.
Okay, let me go through a few more stats.
Go ahead.
This is very important. 500 have been dismissed. All right, so those are important stats. And 175 of them have been settled. Now, Mrs. Clinton talked about ordinary American lawsuits, all right? We were able to discover 60 ordinary American lawsuits.
60. Over a 30-year period. So that's just 2 a year.
Well, it's 1.7 lawsuits a year. 1.7 lawsuits. I did the math. Okay.
Right. Now, I want you to stop you there because you let the audience absorb what they've heard.
Right.
And now we'll go to Guilfoyle in Philadelphia for an extrapolation. Whoa, how about that, huh? Of what what Wheel just gave us. So what does this tell you?
Well, this boils down to Donald Trump isn't afraid to use the American court system, yes, to advance his interests, but also to defend himself, which is his right to do so. And the majority of the cases have been coming from casinos, which you oftentimes have to use the court system in order to enforce a judgment when someone owes you money. So from our examination, it's pretty thorough.
The majority of the 3,500 lawsuits come from
1,700 are casinos.
1,700? So that's more than 50%.
Casinos.
That's for people who lost money and didn't pay their debt.
Correct.
So it seems
to me.
And
then personal injury suits are slip and fall at casinos or Mar-a-Lago, etc.
I'm going to get accused of being, biased or whatever, but it seems to me that the charges against Trump here are really not true, that he's some kind of guy who's stiffing everybody.
Just look at the numbers.
Is that true or not?
That is absolutely true. So, looking at the numbers.
What Secretary Clinton implied in her speech really isn't the case.
It is not the case. And we're not being biased here. I'm just looking at the stats.
Okay.
Bill, based on the facts, it is a false and misleading statement. That's the facts when you look at the breakdown.
We want to be very precise because you know how vicious these people are. These people are the Fox haters. So we have found out that of the 3,500 Guilfoyle, more than half were casino beefs from people who didn't pay or fell down on their head. Only 60 over 30 years were workers who said, Trump didn't pay me what I'm owed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And when you look at this, it goes personal injury, real estate disputes, 300, government and taxes, 165, contract disputes, 125, over 30
Don't overwhelm
years.
everybody. Don't overwhelm everybody. Now, one question for you real fast. Guilfoyle, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Planned Parenthood, the two people who went undercover, right?
Right.
Charged in Harris County, Texas. That's Houston.
Right.
They've dropped the charges.
Dropped the charges on a technicality in Texas that they really ran out of time, that the grand jury really ran out of time. It's a strange Texas law that when you have an investigation that goes on too long in a grand jury in Texas.
They couldn't come to any conclusion whether they violated the law
and they just
by doing these stings on Planned Parenthood.
Yes. And
so they're in the clear?
They're totally in the clear.
Except in California, though. There's still something going on.
Exactly. But in Texas, all the charges are
I want to bring everybody up to date on that. Just happened today.
Yes.
Thank you very much. very much.
Yeah.
Gutfeld and McGurk on deck. Geraldo getting water dumped on him by protesters in Philly.